Welcome back to Thrones Be the Game as we review Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Sorry, last week we weren't here, but I mean, we're here now for episode 5, In the Name of the Mother. How's everybody been? What y'all think? What y'all think about this episode overall? Let's go with you first, Jen, the tall.
I loved it.
Are you getting more attracted to him? That has been a question that people have asked.
No. And here I'll start with the things so I loved the episode, okay, and so much so that when they did the takeaway of him as a kid, I kind of forgot it was a battle going on until someone screamed "Get up!" And I'm like, "Oh, we're in the middle of a duel." Because I was just like, watching him, just kind of watching him leap through the countryside, just kind of staggering behind, just kind of staggering behind. But I will say, my only comment is, I was a little bit surprised by the superhuman strength of it all, like stabbed in the eye. So Duncan was stabbed in the stomach, stabbed in the leg, stabbed in the chest. He's just able to stand up and muster through all of it. And so, I get the whole, he's supposed to be that strong, but that to me just kind of felt like a little bit of a reach. But like, I loved it. Loved it.
All right. What about you, Shoddy Laughing Storm?
Man, finally, right? Getting to it. We're finally getting to it. And then mingle in with that 5th episode, the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
This is ranked, I don't know where it ranks, but it's ranked in the top 5 episodes of all of the House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. I'm putting this in my top 5. This was a really nicely done episode. The honor, the valor of it all, the violence of it all, the flashbacks to see, Dunk came from Flea Bottom, right? That was Flea Bottom in that flashback with his other buddy. And how she was murdered,
It's like for me, St. Louis.
Right. So, I mean, I loved it. And the brutality of, oh gosh, my heart, Baelor, right? I loved it. I give it a 10. Top 5 episodes in all of the House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So I'll pass it over.
What about you, Scott?
Well, IMDb actually, this is the first Game of Thrones episode that was rated 10 out of 10. So, so it's the highest rated Game of Thrones episode so far. So that's more in line with what the critics and the other fans saw. So, cheers to that. One of the things, so I really enjoyed the episode. I really enjoyed both the last two. As I imagine that this penultimate episode is going to be more violent, more action packed. I imagine that we're going to get a scale down in the action and more set up for next season and the next episode. But one of the things I did want to mention to Jen Tall was that that chainmail armor that he had, it was supposed to provide a lot of protection against stabbing, slicing and stabbing. So what they were trying to, I assume they were trying to do is to show that chainmail, it limited the amount of damage he took. It didn't make him impervious to that stab or cut damage, but it limited it. But also the converse of that was every time somebody came by with one of the maces, it just took them out. Because
that's what Baelor is the same way. He didn't have his red equipment on.
Yeah.
So that cut before damage was still managed.
I want to speak to that because. And the reason I make the statement is because Sir Duncan was the least armored, the least protected of seemingly everyone on the field. Everyone else had actual armor. Everyone else had actual steel. And so, I mean, but
Baelor's outfit didn't fit. That was a problem. That was his thing. That his helmet didn't fit. It wasn't his. He took his
his son, Baelor.
So he didn't even have the right stuff. So he was probably the least fit. I mean, because it don't fit you. It's like,
that's one of the things they didn't go into in the episode, but that's a really important thing that they kind of touch on in the books. That custom armor is very customized for an individual, and so it provides a great amount of protection for the person it's customized for, not so much for people it wasn't. One of the things that Duncan did have is he had more generic armor that was built to protect anybody, and so in an instance where he was bigger and stronger than his primary opponent, it provided him a little bit more protection than custom armor fit for somebody else that wasn't really made for Baelor. So
let me be super.
And to the point,
real quick.
Baelor.
I want to just say this. I want to super duper repeat what I said. He had on mesh netting. They had on armor, and so I'll take ill-fitted armor over mesh netting anyway. It doesn't matter. Duncan was stabbed in the eye, stabbed in the stomach, stabbed in the leg, stabbed through. I mean, he was stabbed with a wooden pole several times, and he stood back up and had enough strength to drag the dragon man to make sure he said yield. So I stand on my statement. I was a little surprised, and maybe that's was lost to me in the books, but they gave him superhuman strength, and they wanted to make sure that showed. And I'm saying that, and I'm saying that in a show where there are dragons and tons of mystical other beings, I'm saying that Duncan, he wasn't a sorcerer.
It wasn't mesh netting. It wasn't mesh netting. It was chainmail armor. And if you go Google chainmail armor, that armor was specifically designed to give you 70 or 80% cut resistance in slashing and cutting and stabbing, and virtually no resistance to blunt force armor like the mesh. So the thing is, he was stabbed, and it didn't stop him from being stabbed at all. But that mesh netting, as you call it, that chainmail armor, was specifically designed to stop any stabs and slices from being nearly as effective as they would have been. So
I must have missed the chain link armor that covered his eye. Then he must have had some covering his eye, because
I didn't. I'm not saying about his eye. I'm not saying about
it. Die, and so I don't know, but okay. But I'm glad you have the statistics on the percentage. Got 70 to 80% of them. Hey, I'm glad you know.
Well, I mean, you got to think how many times the mountain got stabbed. How many times did the mountain get stabbed by Martell? Like, I mean. And he was a large individual too. Like, it's just these large dudes, they ain't going down too.
Yeah.
Well, and also too, Jen, I think you might be thinking of Mithril. Okay, Mithril will render you impervious to, right? That's from the Hobbit, the Hobbit lore. Mithril will prevent you from getting stabbed at all, but chainmail armor will reduce the likelihood that you have a fatal blow. That's what the chainmail was for. At any rate, but I wanted to bring up one more time the Baelor. Why, and like Scott said, why the armor was so important. Not only do they have custom armor, they're princes, right? That's super duper customized. It's probably Valyrian steel, and so the whole if that was custom fit to his head, then the likelihood that Maker swung that Morning Star, that mace, with enough power. He did say he was strong. He is strong, but that helmet would have yielded some. It would have had cushion in the back, but it was too small or too big, right? Either way, not a good fit. That's what that was the deal that made it a big deal, that he borrowed his son's armor, because Baelor didn't go to fight, right? He was just there as the emissary of the Targaryen, the sitting king. He's just there supervising, right? So he didn't bring his armor with him, which is why he ended up borrowing his son's. There's a little bit more backstory, but I love that part. So sad, and for Duncan to be crying for him at the end of it all, my heart broke.
But it just, to me, this overall shows that the Targaryens are cursed in general. If you just look at like what we're learning in House of Dragons in juxtaposition of this and just their history, every time they think they're almost there to like get the king that is going to make sure everything's going all right, something going to happen and put them back to square one. Like that's how they run. Like, so they're like, because Baelor is supposed to be this fair person, going to be the next Targaryen king that's going to be fairness and set it all right. And then he's not there no more. So now we're going to have a whole bunch of more shit that happens because he's not there.
I wish that I would start writing down content creators.
With George R.R. Martin this last week, and he said that in his eyes, Baelor dying was one of the top 5 events that happened in old Westeros that changed the course of Westeros. That's what George Martin said.
See, okay, yeah, I agree, because if you look at it deeper into it, you get 3 more Blackfire rebellions right after this within these same people's lifetime. Like, this ain't like they having the civil wars every 2-3 years at this point after this, because they're like, Baelor, he was cool, but I don't know about these other kids y'all trying to bring through. Like, but go ahead. You were talking. Go ahead.
B.
Who's next up?
Oh, I was gonna say I wish I could start writing. I need to start writing down content creators, because George R.R. Martin did say, hey, I couldn't let Baelor live because we'd have nothing to write about. He'd have been a fair and just ruler. There wouldn't have been any shenanigans afoot. So yeah, I got to make it messy. Yeah, there's got to be the brother kills him and all, but this does change the trajectory for how Makar behaves later on in the lore.
It actually makes him a better character overall, though, too. Like, it's weirdly, it makes him a better person. Weirdly, even though he still wasn't Baelor.
Well, but that's also why he sent his son off. That's also why he sent Arion to. Then he sent him to like the Free Cities, kind of banished him out there just because he knew his son was a big, massive fuck up. So yeah, and it is your fault that my brother's dead, because if you hadn't been so stupid, we could have deaded all of this. None of this had to happen.
Go ahead, Jen.
I was just gonna say that I just really love the symbolism of Sir Duncan, stumbling, barely can walk, stumbling on one knee, saying that, I'm loyal to you. Like, it was a really, really powerful scene.
Yeah.
In the midst of all the gore and all, just all the bloodiness of it, for him to have the wherewithal to show that level of honor and respect. It just, it's hard to not be endearing, to not be endeared to Sir Duncan.
Yeah. I think specifically what he said, "I'm your man" or something like that. That was, and for him to show that much appreciation and devotion, considering what he went through, like that was, even though he was, still messed up from the fight and still struggling with his own injuries, just to be like, well, no, I'm still gonna show the appropriate deference to you as the crown prince. Appreciation for you giving up yourself, when you didn't have to for me. Because if Baelor doesn't join his side, he loses automatically and he's dead.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. So him just showing up saved his life. Not to mention, him taking on the King's Guard who couldn't hurt him or whatever, to kind of defray the amount of people that would attack Duncan. So
offset it. Yeah, it was a really strong scene.
Also, I wonder how many stag helmet does Baratheon have?
That was just what I was gonna say. I was like, it was kind of dope seeing somebody wear one of those in battle, like because we always see like the cartoon drawings of it. Actually, see someone with battle with the antlers. This is how you would see someone like that. Would be kind of scary to see somebody on the field and they got these antlers on coming at you. I'm thinking of Robert Baratheon coming at you with this big old axe, and he got these antlers.
Warhammer. Right, I'm terrified.
Who is this dude? Like. Yeah, there was so what do you all, like the Targaryens, they're just, like I said, like, first of all, Egg really hates his brother, and he has no problems with him, like something happened to him dying. Like, obviously we have crossed the crossroads and you are not my brother no more. Because he literally was telling them to get up and kill him.
Yeah.
He wasn't telling them to yield. He wanted him to kill his brother.
Yeah. Right. He meant it.
Yeah, like apologetically. Like, it's like a lot of nervous screaming from the stands.
Yeah, he tried to make him into a woman. He tried to make him into a woman and wanted to marry him.
Which is a fair complaint, right? That's a fair complaint. He tried to make you into a woman. But then he goes, and then he threw my cat down the well, which is a completely different thing. It's like those two things are not on par. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll make you a sister and marry you versus he was mean to my cat. Those are completely different things.
They are two opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
But I got an 11-year-old, and that's right on par with her.
Right on brand.
Underdeveloped frontal lobe. Kill my cat once. Tomato.
I've got a question. Have we identified who the woman is who stood up with Egg in the stands and shit? The red. Is she a sex worker? Is she a pleasure house lady? Is she an accompaniment to one of the lords? Who is she? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Because here's my thing: she wouldn't be up there if she was
a consort.
But they put it.
Yeah, you can take your side chick to the game.
Yeah, sure she would. If you paid her enough. Julia Roberts got to go to the polo match. Okay, Julia Roberts got to go to the polo match.
I mean, you still take it to the game at the minimum.
Yeah,
you know what? We got 5th row seats.
But she had box seats though.
Yeah, I'm
she
saying
had box seats.
He's Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? The front row. Fuck it.
Man, okay. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye out because they spotlight her several times in almost all of the episodes, but I haven't heard anybody say her name. I don't know who she is. So okay.
Yeah, it was, and it was interesting with this episode when he was saying like, get up, and then we flash back to really how like his former master. We don't even know if he was really a good knight or not. We like it's still all this mystery behind him in general. But and he was halfway drunk. You see some nobility in his former master, though, is what I mean. Like he basically saved this kid. Like, yo, what are y'all doing out here? And just drunkenly beats up these guys. So we don't know how good he could have been because he probably was raw back in his day. When he wasn't drunk and he was, not older, he probably was a great hedge knight. Or was he not? Maybe there's a long line of these people. What would you say, Scott?
The first cat he killed, he made light work of him.
Yeah.
On accident. He stumbled out there like, oh, leave that child alone.
Wait, he stumbled out, threw up first. Right. We've been there before. And so now you're going to get this work. And then, That was impressive. That's impressive.
And they just rolled off the sunset. And then came back with fuck them kids though. Like I saved your life, but I ain't about to give you no food or water.
Yeah.
And then and then I guess you think of the juxtaposition with him of like the young lady. What was her name? Was it Ray? Yeah, Ray.
Right.
And like that's all he had left. And you got to think that everyone has left him around him. His mother, we don't know if she left. His mother is here, there, and everywhere. Mm-hmm. We don't know his father. He never knew his father. We never find out who his father is. The only thing left he is this hedge knight that saved his life.
Yeah,
that's all he has left. And now he's almost, and it's one of those things of, I guess what they say in Rest. I forgot. I got this quote. They say in Westeros that. They said his joy has turned to ashes in his mouth, talking about Duncan, because Dunk wanted this kind of thing. He wanted these families, this or something to belong a part of, because he doesn't have anything. But at the end, he loses the person that was bringing him into the fold and was really looking for him. That was almost like a father figure to him off the flip, being Baelor. Yeah. But then he gets accepted. Like it's like he wins, but he loses at the same time.
I do have one commentary on Ray that kind of annoyed me. So she was a pickpocket, fast fingers, this and the other.
Yep.
She gets robbed. She steals his knife and then lets him walk up behind her, take the knife back without any preparation.
They cut her throat.
Yeah, it's like what was the point then? Like I thought she was gonna try to attack him and get away. But it's like what
cruelty is the point.
She could have it on him so he could grab her from behind, take the knife off her hip, and cut her throat. Like what was the point?
Or she could
the cruelty. The cruelty is the point, though. But that's it's giving an insight, because what she could have fought back is she seemed to be pretty clever and really quick and all those things. But the cruelty of it all is the point, right? It's to give the background for Dunk, subtext and context. And so we could have like, well, what is the point of her being kind of his only friend? And now, okay, why give her to us and then take her away so brutally if something else is the point other than the cruelty? So they didn't. I agree with you. So then I have to say the cruelty is the point, so we can know what the common person has to go through and deal with, and the people who comprise Flea Bottom and the subjects of the Red Keep. So even if they were able to do something, that guy, he was a guard, right? Wasn't he a knight, a guard? He had a cloak on. Was he?
Yeah, City. They were City Watch.
City Watch. Right. So he'd be forever looking for them, always waiting on them to slip up.
Mhm.
He'd eventually caught up with them. But what
No,
are they going to do? They can't accuse him of anything because nobody's going to listen.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was talking. I mean, I get her character arc's point in the episode. I was talking about from her perspective because she seemed to be a little bit more savvy than that. It's like, okay, well, fine. She already got robbed. She already got her stuff, money taken from her. They have to go back and figure out how to make more money in order to escape King's Landing. It's like, you're gonna steal his knife, break, run. You know what I mean? But she just slowly walk away.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's some slow motion explosion in the action movie. It's like, what are you doing? You get out of there.
It's kind of like they went out of their way to show how street smart she was, only to be just murdered in such a simple, undefined, just such an insignificant way. Like, it's like it. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just the logistics. You're just saying the logistics of how they played out the scene, basically.
Yeah.
It's like it could have gave her a little bit more dignified of a death, or a little bit more, her fighting for her life. It's like they just had her walk behind, like she, as if she wasn't gonna know to say she's that he as if he wasn't gonna know she stole from him, as if she didn't know that he was really close, as if she pocketed the knife in a way that he could easily reach it, and then like she didn't hold the knife and then maybe try to stab him when he came up on her, or something that would show her at least being a little more clever, self-aware. She walked away as if like, oh, me stealing from him is not going to be an issue. What is he going to really do? It's like he's already been kind of pressing you for everything, whether you've done anything to him or not. Continue to steal from him is not necessarily a plan to win here.
Yeah.
So I mean, this episode was awesome to me. It just explains. So I mean, explain like visually to see the stuff of how it all went down, because we get the story, but it's different actually seeing it play out and how like Baelor. So I was like, because at first I was like, oh, they're gonna flip it. They're gonna let Baelor some other thing happen to him maybe, and they're like, oh, they did exactly the way they did it. I always thought they were gonna let it try to get us off, but I was like, we're in Game of Thrones. They ain't gonna let the public off like that with the happy ending. But Jim, was you surprised when you saw Baelor was dying?
I was not expecting the back of his armor. I wasn't expecting to see that. I will say that just from a cinematic perspective, I love how they paired like the chaos of the battle and it being fast moving, dark, gritty. You've got to kind of watch all these different things going on with the calm aspect of the flashback. And so it's so like you don't normally see those things paired together in that kind of way. You know what I mean? And so it was just from a writing perspective, it was that to me, just like the way this episode was comprised. I mean, it just showed well. But no, I wasn't expecting it. But when I saw it happening, you know what I mean. I'm like, oh, he's not gonna. They took the helmet off slowly, and I said, this is not gonna be good, and it wasn't. It was all brains. I said, Jesus. Unless it's gonna be a zombie, I don't know how this is gonna work out.
There are a couple of things I thought that paid off throughout the season that I thought really worked in the episode. When a couple episodes ago, we see Egg trying to get the horse to run on command and to run in the jousts. And then when Duncan freezes, it's Egg screaming out to the horse to go, which actually activated Duncan and the horse at the same time. The pullback shots that we've got from everybody, because there had been a whole bunch of close-up shots. You got a lot of landscape, a lot of pullback shots, and then to have Duncan when he's actually fighting do that POV cam, and all you see is that little small slit in the helmet, and it seems unfocused, and you can't tell what's really going on. But it's another, but it kind of adds to his panic and his uncertainty and his kind of claustrophobic kind of nature of the whole thing. And then they added all that smoke on the battlefield. So again, kind of masked the chaos. Like, it's a lot of music going on, a lot of noise going on from horses and things hitting each other, but you can't tell where exactly it's coming from. And then out the blue, somebody comes with a horse and hit him with a head on the mace. He's knocked down, or he's stabbed, or this, that, and other. So I thought I thought that those payoffs in that particular scene really worked well. And I hate. It's like two things this show is taken away from me that I have to reevaluate. I normally hate child actors, and I normally hate POV cams, but both of those work really well in the show.
What's so interesting about this is like if Maker, y'all notice that he knew his son wasn't on shit though. He's like, yo, my son, like he got to keep running.
My boy. I know your boy.
Like he knew, like, hey, I mean, he got some of the best trainer, but he ain't been in these streets. Look, this other dude from Flea Bottom, like he gon' I gotta keep circling around, making sure he's straight.
Yeah, and because they're also princes, so Daron bit the dust, right? As soon as it started, he hit the deck. So that left Arion, Baelor, and Maker, right? So, but nobody can really fuck with them. So at first I'm like, man, Dunk is getting his ass whooped. But then I thought about it. It was like 7-on-3, right? It was 7 on, because nobody's fooling with the princes and the royalty, right? So that's a higher margin for him to deal with. But he was getting his ass whooped. Also, too, the fact that he kept hearing Egg's voice. And everybody could tune in and hear Egg's voice. Hey, him saying, wait, that long, loud wait with the finger point before the horn blew, only just because he saw his eyes open. That's how close he was watching that man, because by rights, that horn should have blown, right? So I love that. We love this little guy. We love him.
Ditto.
We want to see more of this actor, but do you think they're going to do an age jump or a leap for the last episode of the season?
For the last episode?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think they'll do a jump though for the season 2. I don't think there'll be a child actor for season 2. I think it's going to be a late teenager, early 20s, but they probably keep the main guy playing Dunk, but we won't see that kid Egg anymore. I don't think. I think we'll have a jump like House of the Dragon.
Okay,
where we had that jump time
scale. The showrunner said he wanted to do like 5 seasons or 7 seasons and do like a 5 to 10 year jump between each season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if HBO committed to that. But that's what he said he wanted to do.
Oh, if they're going to jump up, they're going to jump up through a lot of different things. Then wow.
Yeah, that's what the goal.
If we do another 5-year time jump, yeah, that's going to be it. Because then we got another Blackfire Rebellion that's getting ready to happen
imminently.
Yeah, that sounds like
it's brewing right now.
Yeah, that sounds like that. It's like it's getting brewed up right now. It's getting teared up right now. Like, okay, all right. I mean, I'm interested to see, especially with the Blackfire Rebellion, and it's so interesting. They really, maybe this whole basis of all this show is going to be based around the Blackfire Rebellions, because they show Ray and Dunk robbing people from the last battle of the Blackfire Rebellion to try to get those things that they were trying to sell. Like that was the last thing in those battles. So I'm interested, man. They got me, man, as always. It's just more and more you realize how them Targaryens are just cursed, man. They just cursed. It's just and it's the non-incest kids that are always the good ones. It's always the non-incest ones. It's like the ones that come out with the dark hair.
Right. And
if you come out with the blonde hair, you won't watch. Like, we gotta watch you.
I know
that silver hair, you won't watch.
The show has condensed the timeline a little bit, I guess, to keep it as brief or brisk as possible. But in the books, this Egg is the Mad King's grandfather.
Yes.
But in the series, in the show, it's his son, right?
Yeah, yes. They cut out the next son after that. Yeah.
And also, this is important. This period of time is important because this is the split for the Fossaways. The split, the guy who said, "Hey, I'll fight for you," then went over and defected to Arion's team, and then his cousin now is on Dunk's team. This was the division of their house into the green apples and the red apples.
Oh, really? So that was
I had to go back and start. I did myself a disservice before starting this series. I didn't think I needed to go back and reread the novella because I figured it was.
I didn't even realize. Damn. Okay.
I didn't need to re-up my knowledge, but I've been cruising through it, just skimming through it. I'm like, okay, right, this happened. So all in this.
Now, if they time this correctly with House of Dragons, they probably won't. They can't do it because I'm just wondering if they could tie it into all the things that we'll see if later on in Egg's life that are tied into dragons. Along that, like, but we're only got probably two more seasons of House of the Dragon. I'm thinking, so that they're not going to cross over like that.
Was it going to be this? The third is the last, or we're getting 4?
We're getting 2 more seasons of House of the Dragon.
Oh man, so much material to cover. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So this is going to season 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're wrapping up after 4. I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they are wrapped. I think the 4th is going to be the final. Yeah.
They must go and make those. Are they going to make those long episodes then?
I hope so.
Whatever they do.
Because I'm just wondering.
Like season 8. Remember how season 8 every episode was going to be like a movie. Yeah. They screwed the pooch immediately.
They really
it was like it was too much.
They really did. It was awful.
How was every episode super long and also nothing happened in each episode?
Nothing happened. but singularly managed to piss off everybody who loved it, right? Because y'all could have just kept it. If that's how it was going to end, or you weren't going to pay that much attention, don't do that. The book of disservice like that. That was awful.
Yeah, the long night
and even in all this, we talk about the Targaryens in this battle. The death of Baelor in a lot of ways shows the weakness of them, of like the crown princess died at a random doggone tournament. Like we out here dying, like we going to sprues and getting killed. You know, like how you just go get it? Like,
What?
I'm supposed to be the big time cat in the area, and I go get shot at sprues on a random Friday night. Like
that is so
wow. Oh my god.
But that's the equivalent of like this is a random tournament they're going to for the week. This is not the biggest tournament. This is just some random weekend they supposed to be hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's supposed to come home in one piece.
Right.
Everybody. Yeah.
Right. So now, I remember. You have to remind me in the books that like we knew that Maker did it, but I don't think his father found out. Right?
The king?
Yeah. I think we know as the viewer, but I don't think the dad found out. Right?
So we were talking about this earlier. I don't recall. I don't remember.
I think it was a thing of like just under the like we know inside of this battle what happened. And it was the battle, but we ain't gonna talk about it. But
as introducing the show, though, the only person that could actually spill princely blood would be somebody else from the royal family. So it would had to have been, because
you got to tell him. You got to hit his heir to the throne is dead. You got to tell him what happened, right?
I mean, it could have been a Baratheon. The Baratheon can do it. He's a lord.
I ain't taking a fall for nobody. What you know? It wasn't me. It was him.
I said it wasn't me.
Did it. What you mean? We knew we can't trust the prince. I may be a party, but I'm not breaking the rules.
Hey, look! Did you see my antlers got messed
up?
No
trouble, but he did have his head bashed in with a mace. I'm just saying.
Right.
I got a sword. He got his head bashed with a mace.
Yeah, that's Maker's weapon of choice. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Look at the evidence. Right.
But he's not there for. They burned his body before they get. That's what I was like. They burned it. The previous. They're burning his body before they went back. That's what I was like. That's what I always thought. Like that they like. Oh yeah, he got jammed up, man. Who did it, man? It was a lot going on. So where's his body? We burned it already. Like what?
We couldn't travel back with it like that. We had to cremate him. Man, what you mean? We did the best we could. It was your grandson. It was Arion's fault. Oh no, we shipped him off to the free city.
And you didn't bring Arion back. You shipped him off before everybody. Everything's done by the time we get back to King's Landing. All the decisions have been made.
So I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling the truth. I'm getting off the ship, telling you exactly what happened. Right? We got enough problems.
Oh, I can see him come back lying saying a horse stepped on his head.
Well, because they
like all kind of lies can be. Like I don't think his dad ever found out how his son passed. Like it's like. Stuff wouldn't have happened, I think, going forward if the king would have known that Maker had something to do with his brother being slain.
But now Maker's next in line. I can't do nothing for real about that.
Right.
Targaryens don't die of old age.
Correct. That's true. They died from shenanigans.
They don't die.
Shenanigans.
Well, man, so what do y'all expect for the next episode? Is the final episode as we close out?
I don't know. Like I saw. Okay, so did everyone see the preview of the next episode at the end?
Yeah, that's why I said they burned his body. They ain't even. They did that on site.
Okay. So assuming two things are true. A, they're gonna do a time skip in season 2, and so they're not gonna bring the child actor back. Then I feel like there's gonna then the whole episode is just gonna be the wrap up of Baelor, and then him wrestling with, dealing with the Targaryens and being done with Egg and Baelor dying, and then not wanting to, and then him ultimately accepting Egg as an official squire in the good graces at the end. I think that's how it's going to wrap up, because I don't really see them ending that season knowing they're going to do a time skip on him having beef with Egg. I think whatever tension or reservations he has with dealing with the princess and the royal family, he's going to get over by the end of the episode. But that presumes that they're not going to have a child actor back for the next season, which I don't think they are. So that's how I think it's going to wrap up.
Same. Right. I think it's going to be. I think we got our big action episode Sunday, so it's going to be to tie up loose ends and establish now that Baelor is dead. We got to deal with the aftermath of the tourney itself. Who's still alive? I don't know if we know exactly who's alive right now for the show, but Ariane has to get shipped off, and I feel like Maker is going to have to come to some kind of realization that, okay, I'm gonna leave Egg with Duncan. Okay, I'm gonna allow you guys to go ahead because he's not comfortable here. I trust you. Now you're because he's a knight now. He's officially a full-blown knight. Is he a member of the Kingsguard or the Night's Watch, or not the Night's Watch?
City Guard.
City Guard. Thank you. So, like, what's his designation? That's what I want to find out. By the end of the next episode, I want to know what Dunk's designation is.
What about you, Jen?
So I think that, just based on this episode, I think they're going to probably follow a really similar pattern to what we saw this week. One thing Rafe said kind of in the beginning, first few minutes of this episode was basically saying that the war is never over. People never forget. People never forgive, basically. And unfortunately, I think we might see more character development from Duncan, just showing just his relationship with his what was Duncan's what's the older guy? What's his name?
Arlan Pennytree.
Yes. I think they could show more development between those two, and just spend more time showing, because people watching know the end of the story already. So I think people just want to see more how Duncan kind of develops to this worthy position, and how, I guess his overall just humility and just earnestness, how deserving that he is. So I think it's going to be a lot more of just a development between Duncan and Sir Pennytree. Pennington was his name. I think that everything you guys said, but I think that they'll probably spend 10 to 15 minutes again just showing young Duncan, especially if we're doing a time jump. I think that they've got to take the time to try to get him up to, from when he's 15, however old he is in this last episode, to where he is today. So.
Do y'all think we're gonna see him get his first one of his girlfriends? Because we know Old Nan was one of his conquests, right? Old Nan. We know Jenny from Old Stones. And what about the lady Alice that they were singing about in episode 3 or 4? Where we gonna get? We need Dunk to get a little bit of grown up.
Dunk can go on a world tour.
Yeah, we need some grown up time for Dunk, right?
Because the streets gonna hear about him at this tournament now. They on the streets gonna know about him.
He lit now.
Yeah. I want to see it. I want to see some action now. Let's.
And you're gonna have a crown prince with you too, so y'all basically can't really be touched for real.
He got that YouTube million subscribers plaque.
You're showing our age, man. Come on, man.
Oh man, that's exactly what he is. He's untouchable right now, until somebody try to step to him. But right now, I think we're gonna show them like kicking it and just trying to figure out stuff, going forward with him and Egg.
Agreed.
All right, next week we'll be here for the finale episode. Does anybody have any words of wisdom as we leave?
I wish they could be so gracious as to maybe give us like 45 minutes for the finale instead of, just a little bit longer. That the 30 minutes this week, it was so good, but I guess I'm just greedy. I just wanted more.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I think she has a man crush on Duncan. She don't want to admit it because she don't want to change her position. She don't flip him.
Anyway, hey, happy Fat Tuesday, everybody.
It's the Baratheon, number one.
Happy Fat Tuesday, folks.
You mean tall Tyrion? The Baratheon's tall Tyrion.
I called it. He looked just like Tyrion. It's cute. Yeah. So dancing, having a good time.
All right, we will see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.